Yeah, buddy, what is up? Welcome to Duct Tape Dynasty. I am, of course, the Duct Tape Dude.
I'm the dude.
But more importantly, it is time for FCS National Championship Catcast. Yeah, buddy, with special guests from the Pawd podcast. See, now I have practice saying it, so I didn't mess it up like last time. We've got Ben. How are you, brother? Thank you so much for coming back.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is pretty awesome, and just super excited for this game. You're setting the tone with that sound effect right off the bat. You know, I love it.
You mean this one?
Ready to go.
Sorry. Not sorry.
That's the one.
Oh, man. Well, we're glad you're here. Happy Christmas, or Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. And, of course, to everyone out there, if you didn't catch the show last night, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Agman, same to you as well. And, Kevin, just to let you know, Sportnick's in the comments, who was on the show last night, our NFL show, his first message that he tried sending got retracted by YouTube. So apparently your performance last night was such that YouTube has kicked you off, Kevin. You are hereby fired. Anyway, no, your comments are coming through now, though. But yeah, man, here we are. Holy cow, another Catcast. What an incredible year it's been. Yes, for us. But also for our beloved cats. First of all, let me do my due diligence and give you all the graphic that has the Cats Pod QR code on it here for Ben and Eric, who is obviously not with us today. Is he down at the game? Is that where he's going? Is that why
he's going to be heading to the game tomorrow? But right now he's cabbing. You know, he's got to get the real work done before he can actually.
Okay, fair enough.
There, you know?
Yeah, take care of the animals before the game. Got it. But if you guys would, just if you want to check out, these guys have got a serious podcast when it comes to Montana State. And if you just screenshot that QR code, hold your finger on it any time later on, and it'll take you to their, I think this is the Instagram QR code. Is that right? The one that's on your guys' is the helmet. Does that go to the Instagram or the YouTube?
It takes you to like our link tree.
Oh, there you go.
Page.
Link tree.
So you can go to Spotify, YouTube, our little merch store that we have. We got a couple things on there, so that can all be accessed through that QR code.
Sweet. There you go. So there it is. Make sure you do a little screenshot. Go back to it after the show or during the show, whatever, and check it out. Buy some merch from these guys. You guys have had an incredible year, by the way. So congrats on an incredible year from the Cats Pod podcast. We did all right as well for us, so by our standards. Yeah. The Ag Man, I want to throw this out. I thanked you a million times last time, but I do want to say it again. We had Coach Jody Owens on with us while we were in Montana for the podcast. And, dude, that was legendary. Like, he was such a good interview for one. So kudos to him and thanks to Jody Owens for doing that. But, Ag Man, thanks for setting that up, dude. That was an all-time highlight for our little YouTube endeavor here. So good times. But we haven't had any players on. You guys have had players on and stuff. Well, I guess Jody Owens is a former player, right? So who all did you guys have on this year?
We had Ty McCullough on earlier in the season, and then we had Zach Black. I think that was 3-4 weeks ago now, and he's one of the guys usually coming off the bench on the D line, but just a great dude to talk to. And gave us a lot of great insight into like how the team is in the locker room and stuff like that. So it was awesome getting to talk to him.
Yeah, man. Anyway, like I said, go check those guys out. That QR code, we'll put it up at the end as well. But what the heck? Let's get into it. We got a lot of ground to cover, a lot to talk about. And if you can't tell, I'm talking fast because I'm a little excited. So I'll try and calm down over here, maybe read some comments, and I'll just guide us through. Agman, I'm going to give you the lead. Let's talk about how we got here, specifically just the last game, I guess, our semifinal against, well, here you go. Take the lead. It's all yours, brother. It's up there. Go for it.
All right, so as you guys know, our semifinal game, I don't even know how many weeks ago at this point, 2 weeks ago, was against the University of South Dakota Coyotes. They were the number 4 team coming into Bozeman to take on the number 1, and it was close in the first quarter and a half. It was a little uneasy for me in the first quarter and a half. I was sweating bullets pretty good, and then we took care of business, and we came out of it with a 31-17 win. I don't care which one of you takes it first, Ben or Josh, but
Ben.
What were your guys' thoughts of the game? Ben, I think you were there, weren't you, at that game?
Yeah. Yeah. I got to make the trip to Bozeman for this game, which was awesome. I knew it was the last time I was going to get to see this team hit the field. And so I was super grateful that I got to go to the game. Shout out to my cousin Will for getting me a ticket to this one. Like you said, beginning of the game, kind of got the heartbeat going a little bit. Got the heart racing and everything. We haven't seen anybody run on the Cats like that. You know, our defensive line was doing a great job, and then they gouged us for 2 big runs and got touchdowns on them. So it was like, okay, we might have a back and forth game. But then, as usual, Cats wore them down and won the game in the third and fourth quarter as the game went along.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think they just at the end outpaced them. Is maybe that outpaced them, or had the cardio was better for Montana State. I don't know, one of the two. Yeah. But I'm like I said, I'm at the beginning, I'm already nervous for the game. Well, I don't know if I even said it on the show. I said it while we were talking ahead of time. I'm nervous for this next game because holy cow, we all know this is a Cats team that we've never had before. And and in my lifetime, especially in my career time, my time at Montana State, going to school there, the Cats were abysmal. So it was nothing to even be excited about. Yeah, we went to the games because it was fun to hang out with friends. This is unbelievable. And so, yeah, I've got some stake in it now. And I care. It's like, wow, they're giving us something to care about. And I don't know. I'm mixed feelings about the caring about it part because I'm a nervous wreck. So, that said, the national championship will be against North Dakota State University on Monday. So we've got one more day to rest and get our minds right. 1.5 days, 2 days really, because it's 5 p.m. Mountain. So
52 hours away from kickoff.
Yeah. So national championship, man. We've been there before. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Andrew, what do we think? What? I don't know. Talk to me about the national championship. Are you, I know we're going to get predictions later, but I've got a championship slide. Give me something on it.
I don't know what the feeling was around the fan base as a whole, because not being in Bozeman anymore, having graduated a couple years ago, I went to the last national title game where we played NDSU. We know what happened on that one. I did not want us to play NDSU for this game. I was wanting South Dakota State, not NDSU. So I don't know how the general fan base was feeling, but it sounds like they wanted this matchup more as a revenge game. We can get it done. We have the weapons. I mean, we could have gotten it done no matter who it was. But I really didn't want NDSU because that team has left me so scarred, and I just didn't want it to potentially happen.
I will say the one thing,
I don't know.
I did want NDSU because I'm one of the, hey, give me sweet revenge, so I'm excited about it.
And that's completely fair.
But you having a bad taste in your mouth after spending, I don't know how much money to get down there, go to that game, all that stuff. Like I said, I looked up tickets. Whoa.
And having been at the games when the Bison started their reign of just success, I was at their first one when they were in Bozeman with Carson Wentz as their QB. I was at that one.
Yeah.
And God. I have just seen, every time we played them, it is just,
All right.
So I did not want this matchup.
So, Ben, what about the matchup? Are you happy? Are you more of my side or Agman's side? Or are you somewhere in the middle?
I'm sorry to say it, Andrew, but I'm pretty sure you're in the minority on this one because
everybody
that I talked to at the South Dakota game was chomping at the bit to get at North Dakota State. And
that's fair.
I love this matchup. It's great for storylines. Anybody who's trying to create content, they gave you everything.
Oh yeah.
You got the Tommy Malott storyline where he gets to come back to the same team that he lost against as a freshman. You got the storylines with Vegan and how he was from North Dakota born and raised, coach for NDSU, and now he gets the chance to go up against his old team, basically. So there's all the storylines there, and also South Dakota State was playing really good football during the playoffs. They ultimately did get beat by North Dakota State, but SDSU was playing at that championship level where I was like, I don't know if I really want to see them right now.
That's completely fair. I am won over on this matchup again, but at the very first glance, that championship or semifinal Saturday I was just on pins and needles the whole time because I watched the NDSU SDSU game, and then I went over to my girlfriend's and stuff, and we were hanging out there with her family, and I was watching the Cat game there, and Lord have, like, God bless them for them being able to put up with me and still want me there when I'm watching Bobcat football, because good Lord.
Yeah, you still you're still a part of all that? Okay, good.
Yeah, and no, God bless them for them thinking it's actually hilarious watching me watch Bobcat football. But yeah, I was on pins and needles the whole day because I did not want NDSU. But I'm back around with the storylines, all of that stuff. I'm back on board. But initial reaction, I did not want this. So
hey, I'm ready for our boys to go plant the flag. That's what I want. I wish it was on NDSU's field, even though, but you get it. Kev did point out, thank you, Sportniks, that the game coverage will be on ESPN. So, yeehaw. By the way, Ben, you had mentioned his name, so let's talk about him. Mr. Brent Vigen, our head coach galore extraordinaire. Things have gone well since he has arrived. Agman, tell us about this guy.
Yeah, so for some starters, we talked about it a little bit. He's a North Dakota guy. He was an NDSU player. He was a tight end from 93 to 97. Instantly after graduating, went on the coaching staff and was there till 2013. So he was there at the start of their decade of dominance, or whatever you want to call it for him, because it was. Then he went down to Wyoming, was the offensive coordinator, and I think the assistant head coach down in Wyoming. Then when Jeff Choate left MSU for more money down in Texas, he came on board, Brent Vigen did with us, and brought Sean Chambers with him, and we love that he did that. And he's been our head coach since 2021 all the way through. Since being here, 47-9 record. I'm pretty sure that is the best record of a Bobcat coach, either period or in their first 4 years.
It ain't bad.
With that, he's got 2 conference titles, 2 national championship appearances, including the one in 2 days, and then he was named the Stats Perform Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year for FCS football entirely this year.
And then actually take us through this next one as well, because we just re-signed him, correct? So, yes. And then we'll get Ben's feelings, thoughts, comments on Mr. Vigen himself.
So we'll go through this one. The funny thing is, I was listening to Ben, your and Eric's most recent show talking about Vigen's culture and all of that stuff at MSU, and just not sure of whether he was going to stay or not. And then I saw this come out. I instantly sent it to you. And you're like, man, I want to add a little clip onto it, but we're going to talk about it here anyway. We signed him to a 4-year new deal, $295,000 base salary. So he's making money, but
I take
$110,000 of easily attainable incentives. Like, he can easily get that on top of it. I think it's like $50,000 a year for if he's still
just
at
being
MSU.
employed. Yeah,
just being employed. Okay, I'll take that. 10,000 bonus if he's awarded like conference level coaching awards, and then another 10,000 if he's nationally recognized for coaches. So
or regional.
He has done regional or national. Yeah. He's done both of those.
Yeah. So
I mean,
man. The culture has definitely changed since this guy showed up on campus. Ben, what's your feeling about good old Brent Vigen?
There's not a single person that has ever said a negative word about Brent Vigen that I've been around. And I've talked to a lot of different Cat fans and stuff. And so it's surprising when you find somebody who's this unanimously loved by the fans. I've heard a couple little chirps about little game things and stuff like that, but for the most part, everybody loves Brent Vigen. And it has been a roller coaster. We had plenty of stuff to watch and look out for on the internet this entire week leading up to the championship game in this 2 weeks, because there was conflicting reports coming out about him leaving. There was a journalist who posted on Bobcat Nation that it was confirmed he was going to Washington State, and then 30 minutes later he retracted his statement. So it was a whole roller coaster of emotions going on, because I thought he was gone. And then all of a sudden, after we post that episode on Monday,
locked him down. Well, see, he watched your episode. He watched the episode and was like, no, I ain't leaving. That's what it was. Yeah, I haven't been on with these guys yet, so I got to stick around for at least 4 more years. That's what he said. Vigen, like I said, my era of Bobcat football was always abysmal. So what he has done, I mean, we said it in the last slide, the last graphic, 49 or 47-9 or something like that record. Yeah, I'll take it. I enjoy having this guy as Bobcats head coach. So give him all the money. You know, I'm over here in FBS country of Oklahoma. So OU down the road, OSU up the road. You know, in those contracts, you're 10 million, all this stuff. So seeing 295 grand for base salary, I'm like, come on, give him some more. Give him some more. Let's keep this guy around. One guy I wish we could keep around a little bit longer, but it's not going to happen, is this guy, our quarterback, Tommy Mellott. Boy, has he been an absolute, I don't want to say godsend, but he has been fantastic for us. Here, I mean, look at, Agman, I give it to you again. Tell us about it, read it, whatever.
You can say that Tommy is the GOAT too. I mean, he's definitely
there you go.
If he's on the podium, if he's not the best, he's on the podium for best Bobcat quarterback of all time. Like, he's definitely in the top 3 in my opinion.
QB GOAT, yep. GOAT material at least. So go ahead. Sorry.
Absolutely. Just some of his stats before we get into the thousands of awards he seemed to have won this season. He is 191 for 277, so he doesn't pass the ball as much as some quarterbacks do. But he still has 29 touchdowns through the air, only 2 interceptions on the year, including postseason. He has just over 2,500 yards, 70% completion rate. He's doing awesome stuff in the air. But then on the ground, 109 carries, 915 yards. This was the most recent stats I got, so I'm assuming postseason is included. And then he has 14 touchdowns with that as well. And he was playing a little more conservative during the regular season, not running as much. Then playoffs hit, and we're like, we're just going to let Tommy do what he does. And he has ran us through the playoffs, especially that South Dakota game where he tripped, nearly fell on his head, and then still scored the touchdown on the 20-yard run or whatever it was. Tommy has been named 2024 Walter Camp FCS Player of the Year, 2024 Big Sky Offensive Player of the Year. The stats perform, he's a first-team All-American, FCS ADA Offensive Player of the Year. Just got that like 2 days ago. He's a Walter Payton Award finalist. I think that award happens a little bit later. And then yesterday or this morning,
I thought it was
one of the two,
yeah.
He was named the 2025 Elite 90 Award winner, which is the highest GPA player of the two teams in the national championship game. So he has the highest GPA of both teams that are in the national title game.
I mean, I'll be corny, and not that Tommy's ever going to see our show, but I'll just say thank you, Tommy, because, here, I guess I got to point that way. That speaks for itself. That is fantastic. It has been fun to watch the limited amount, I'll be honest, that I have watched of old Tommy Mellott. Ben, what about you? You've seen him a lot more than me because you are up there in Montana. What do you think? We're all going to be sad to see him go. I mean, that goes without saying, but talk to us about Tommy and your experience watching him out there.
He's just a 3-tier kind of guy. He's a great person, a great football player, and somebody that anybody should be looking up to. If there's kids right now that are watching football and they're looking for somebody to set an example, it's Tommy Mellott. Like, that's the guy that you should be looking at, and you should be trying to model your work ethic after, your studying after, everything like that. He's been great for a long time, and I feel like, honestly, I watched a bunch of highlights earlier this week and through last week since I needed something to do with no FCS football on. And looking at Tommy's high school highlights, he's always been able to sling the ball. But the fact that he's turned that into being so efficient this year and being the most efficient quarterback in the country as far as FCS goes, it is amazing to see how he's grown. The last few years, you'd see him kind of, his brain would get broken a little, and he'd start to bobble and make a couple little mistakes. This year, he has been solid in every single game and has made minor mistakes that he probably beats himself up for more than he should.
Yeah, I am one of those that I keep waiting for the wheels to fall off, and with Tommy, those suckers are bolted on pretty tight. Tommy's a good deal, and it's been a joy having him. Let's talk about Adam Jones, though. Adam Jones. Yeah, our running back. Agman, take us away.
Yeah, this guy has been an absolute unit for us this year. He had his coming out party at the very beginning of the season against New Mexico and was just lighting it up, and his foot's been on the gas pedal ever since. He's had 173 carries, over 1,000 yards, over 1,100 yards actually, and 14 touchdowns. That's on the ground. Receiving, he's not a super huge threat, but that's because we have so many receivers. So he's not the one that gets the ball all the time, but he gets 20 receptions, just over 200 yards, and a touchdown there. He was a Jerry Rice Award finalist this year. He should have won it, but we'll get there. And he also was the Big Sky Conference Freshman of the Year for 2024.
That's awesome.
From Missoula, and the Grizz didn't even look at it.
Well, too bad. So sad. So we're excited to have him. By the way, your Cat's Pawd neon over your shoulder there got a comment in the comments. They said, "Hey, nice."
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out where you got that because that is pretty sweet. But talk to us about Adam Jones. What do you think? It's been fun to watch. Everybody's been fun to watch. Anyway, to you.
Adam Jones's ability to make big plays when you need a big play, I think, is the most impressive thing about him. Like from the first game of the season against New Mexico, when he busted off that 95-yard run when we really needed a touchdown quickly, he makes those kind of plays, which I feel like you never see out of a freshman. Like a redshirt freshman is a little different, but at the same time, his ability to make those big plays in pressure situations is so impressive to me. And Andrew, you already mentioned it. His pass catching ability is top tier for his age specifically.
Oh, yeah.
And his ability to affect the game in multiple ways makes him a tool that you can put on the field for more snaps. And that's exactly what he needed as a freshman sitting behind Julius Davis and Scott Trey Humphrey. He needed to give himself some more skills to get himself some more time on the field, and he did that.
And he came in clutch. I mean, there you go. You know, like you said at the very beginning, 98 yard run, was it? How far was it?
I think it was 95.
95.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Anyway, and you mentioned this next name, Scott Trey Humphrey. Agman, over to you as well. You know, we talked about Tommy and his running ability. You know, he throws pretty well. We saw that. He also runs pretty well. Oh, by the way, we've also got some other guys that run the ball. Maybe this guy right here. So talk to us about it.
Yeah, Scott Trey was one that was a little quiet last year, and this year this was his year because Julius Davis went out with the injury at the back half of last year, or at the very end of last year, the spring game, one of the two, and he was pretty much out for most of the season. He's back now in a limited capacity, but Scott Trey has stepped up and just ran with it. 188 carries throughout the year, 1,360 yards, and 15 touchdowns on the ground, including one, I think it was like 5-yard touchdown against the Coyotes in the semifinal game, where he just ran up behind our offensive line, which is the best in the country, by the way. But Scott Trey is the first MSU running back to get over 1,000 yards since Isaiah Afonso did it a few years ago before he transferred to Cal Berkeley. I think he's doing well down there. I don't know anymore. But Scott Trey has been lighting it up. He was hurt a little bit at the early playoff games, and I think Cat Grays is where he got hit.
Yeah.
Came out.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And then, yeah, he has been, I think he's all the way back now. I think it's him and Adam Jones for the final, and they're both ready to go.
Yes. So talk to us about Scott Trey there, Ben.
Scott Trey has been an absolute bully this season.
He
is that kind of dude, and he runs through guys and then screams in their face about it right afterwards. And when we were talking to the players earlier, we were like, who has the best celebration? And they didn't want to give it to Scott Trey because they were like, Scott Trey just yells. He's just yelling at people and flexing. You know, it's not the best celebration, but that's just the intensity that he brings when he runs the ball. He is pretty much Afonso reincarnated. Afonso is a great guy to bring up. Yeah, they have the same exact number, and they both have the same running style, everything like that. Scott Trey is fast and powerful, and it's a real thunder and lightning thing you get with Scott Trey and Adam Jones in there, even without Julius Davis playing most of this season.
Thunder and lightning. I like it. It. And yeah, he does have a good number. That's my number, 22. That was always my baseball number. So, and speaking of yelling at people, this next guy, every time something happened in the Cat Grizz game, all I heard was the entire stand go, Taco! Taco Dollar. Talk to us about him, Andrew.
Taco time.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Taco Dollar. He is definitely, like, he's a fan favorite. I mean, you put fan favorite Bobcats, you have Tommy Mott, you have Brody Grebe, you have Taco Dollar. Those are the top 3 this year. But Taco is one of our very dangerous wide receivers. He has been for the last 2 years. Receiving-wise, he had 35 catches this year, 546 yards. So the numbers are a little low, but again, that's because we have so many good receivers, and Tommy throws to like 11 people a game, like different people. He has his 15.6 yards per reception average, 10 touchdowns through the air. He had the opening touchdown in the semifinal game and almost had a second one right soon after it. In the rushing game, he's had 4 carries for 17 yards, so he's kind of a decoy in the rushing game. But where he shines is in our return game. He's one of the best returners in the country. He's had 52 return attempts, 653 yards for that, and a score. He returned a punt return. I think it was the UC Davis game where he did that. And then he is a Stats Perform second-team All-American punt returner. And well-deserved. I think it should be first team.
And how cool is that name? I mean, Taco. Is that his actual name, Ben? Yeah. Do you know for sure? You would be the guy to know. Did anybody name him Taco? His parents didn't do that to him?
Sadly, his name is not actually Taco. Like, I hate to
burst the bubble,
veil, but his name is McLean Dowler. You know, and him and his brother, he was Taco as a kid, and his brother was Burrito. And so they had Taco and Burrito. Caden was Burrito. And Burrito didn't stick, but Taco has stuck. And Taco Sauce has been killing it this season. You know, his hands are great. His route running is great. Another guy who just steps up in big moments when you need a score. You know. Yeah. I mean, and the stats speak for themselves. Now, this next one, wearing our of course, number 41. Brody Grebe, we've heard that name a billion times. Well, at least on this little Catcast that we have. Let's go through it. Agman, talk to us about old Brody.
Yep, we've highlighted this guy every show we've had, but it's well-deserved every single time. Same with Tommy. He is the heart and soul of this Bobcat team right there with Tommy as well. When you think Montana State, you think the blue-collar, small town. He is. He's from Millstone. You know how many people are in Millstone? Like 100, and that's it.
I was going to say about the number on his jersey, like 41 people. Yeah,
like he is the heart and soul of the Montana State defense, and just the fandom in general.
You know, that's
32 total tackles.
Sorry,
go ahead, Josh.
No. I was doing a transition over to Ben, so go ahead, take us through it.
Okay, 32 total tackles, 20 by himself on that one. He's held almost every single play, so the fact that he gets this is still sweet. 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries. The most recent one was the one to punch our ticket to Frisco, and it couldn't have ended in Bobcat Stadium more beautifully, having the Montana kid do it. He's the defensive MVP for the conference this year, or defensive player of the year. He's an All-American first team, or preseason All-American. He's a Buck Buchanan Award finalist. I don't think that award has been given out yet. And then he was a second-team All-American in the Stats Perform category. I think it's because his stats were a little bit less than some would think, but that's because he's held every single play. Like, his jersey is like pulled way off his body every game, but then he still ends up with 7.5 sacks on the year.
Yeah, and
he's a tank.
And this highlights what I was going to say. Was this highlights, or this is perfect to highlight the fact that we stated it last time. The great thing with FCS is you get a lot of local kids, right? And so you got a lot of Montana kids out there, and this is one of them. This is one of many of them. And boy, there's a reason he's wearing number 41. That's our legacy number. Montana being the 41st state in the union, right? That is the okay. There we go.
And an homage to the 1941 football team, which had, I think, 13 or 14 players die in the war. Jeez. So it's an honor to that team as well.
So there's that. It's pretty darn cool that he's got number 41 on his chest, and he's a pretty decent dude. Talk to us about Brody Grebe there, Ben.
Brody Grebe, absolute animal. He's always been a killer athlete. Great basketball player, great football player the entire time growing up. What's mentioned a little bit less, I feel like, about Brody is how smart he is as well. I'm sure it was neck and neck between him and Tommy when it comes to that Elite 90 award for GPA. because he consistently has a high GPA, and he's like some type of engineering major. I can't remember exactly right now, but he's not taking cupcake classes. He's taking very tough classes that I would not be able to pass in a million years because I have zero math skills. And so he's a pretty smart dude on top of everything. Like you said, held all the time. I think he should get the award for most times his shoulder pads were exposed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we should make that.
It's constantly off those,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So Brody Green. Anyway, that is the end of our Montana State folks section. So let's kind of blast through this next one. NDSU, their wide receiver, Bruce Lance, whatever. Bryce Lance. Sorry, Bryce Lance.
We've got to go a little bit fair. Are we starting with Lance on this?
Yeah,
one?
we're on Lance. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. I skipped over Miller. Yeah, let's go back. Sorry. Miller, quarterback.
Okay. No,
there we go.
Got to play a little bit fair. Yes, it's the Catcast, so we're focusing on our guys, but we got to mention.
Sorry for the delay.
I do that every single time. No, you're good. We got to mention the team we're playing because we've seen some of these faces before. We've heard these names before, whether it's them or a sibling. A little foreshadowing. But Cam Miller, he's their quarterback. He's the senior walking out the door like ours is with Tommy. So Cam Miller was there the last time these two teams squared off in the big dance. This year he's had 239 completions on 329 attempts, so he throws it a little more than Tommy does, but his ground game is nowhere near.
Yeah, I was
31 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, still a really good stat line, over 3,000 yards. He's around that 72.5 completion percentage is what I found. And then rushing, he has 127 carries, just over 500 yards and 10 touchdowns. So he's a solid athlete, but it's
on
going
the
to be
wrong
interesting
team
to see how they perform. Right, he's on the wrong team. It'll be interesting to see how they perform against our defense.
Ben, you want to say anything
about choice words? Very choice words after their semifinal.
Oh, yeah. You got anything to say about this guy?
Cam Miller has been around there forever, like you said. He's been there since the last time we played in the national championship. It is honestly scary how close his stats are to Tommy's stats. Like, he's not quite as efficient. Tommy has the edge on rushing yards, but Cam Miller has a slight edge on passing yards, and it is tight for that Walter Payton Award, which will be announced later tonight. And as far as nationally, it's a toss-up. For me, of course, it's Tommy Milan.
Yeah.
But Cam Miller he's an impressive player, and he plays with some tenacity, and SDSU kind of cheap shots him a little bit and stuff like that, and that led to his comments after the game. You hate to see it. Definitely something Tommy would never do. He's never going to talk negatively about the other team, even if he has every reason to.
Yeah. Well, my comments on their quarterback is I don't care. So next.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Moving on. All right, where I thought we were starting, Bryce Lance, wide receiver. Go through it, Agman.
Bryce Lance, this is the receiver that if him and Miller get on the same page and are on a hot streak, this is the matchup that scares me a little bit. Receiving for this year, Bryce Lance, 66 receptions, just shy of 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, about 14.5 yards per catch average. He has some amazing one-handed grabs that he can do, especially in that semifinal game. He had the game-winning touchdown, even though they still had like 5 minutes left. Rushing, he's kind of a quieter threat, 5 carries, about 30 yards in the score. This guy is the younger brother of Trey Lance, now Dallas Cowboys' second or third stringer, but one of the biggest draft busts I think the Niners have ever had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they never used it, but anyway.
Brother. This is the little brother.
This is little brother. All right. Well, here's what I have to say about it. I don't care. Ben, you got anything? That's what I'm saying for all of them, just so you know.
Yeah. Bryce Lance is somebody you got to watch out for. The secondary is going to have their hands full in this game for sure. But with the talent that the Cats have in the secondary and other elite athletic receivers like Jordan Dwyer that we faced against Idaho and stuff like that, I feel that the secondary for the Cats will be able to shut down Bryce Lance. But it is a task. It's no small feat to keep him contained.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. And I'll say, okay, an honest assessment. It feels like these are the right two teams in the championship. Am I off on that?
You're completely right.
I don't like saying that, because it gives a little bit of credit to this other team, But that's what I'll say. I keep saying I don't care, but you get it. I mean, they're the right team to be playing, and I just hope we destroy them. That's it. So let's talk about their running back then. Agman, back to you.
Yep, this is the one that we call a little bit of controversial, or at least I would. I know, Ben, you and Eric have. I think his name is Shamar. I don't 100% know if the second R says anything. But this is their running back he's solid, but unfortunately he's robbed one of our guys of an award. He's a freshman this year for him, 227 carries, over 1,100 yards, 14 scores. Receiving, not much of a threat, but he is the Jerry Rice Award winner, even though Adam Jones should have taken it home. Because once the award was announced, Adam Jones kept doing great things. Shamar Moore didn't. He was just kind of there.
He said, I got the award. I'm done. Ben, what do you think? What's your opinion on him?
No, I think Andrew really nailed it on the head. He's really shrunk in the playoffs. I think he's been averaging like 30 or 40 yards per game once the playoffs started. It's not very impressive, and Adam Jones has continued to make big plays. This will be a big game for Adam Jones to prove himself. Like, he gets to go straight up against Shamar Brown and decide and show the entire country on ESPN that he is the better freshman. You know, he gets a big opportunity.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So, all right, I'm keeping us moving because of the fact that this is the wrong team. So let's talk about their linebacker then. And I'm back to you, Agman, as stated.
Yep.
Go.
Had to go to a little bit of we highlighted one of our defensive guys. I figured it was only fair to highlight one of theirs, and this is probably their best guy for sure. Logan Kopp is one of their linebackers. 67 tackles on the year, 35 of them by himself. He had 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. He's had 3 picks on the year, 31 yards on the returns on those, and 1 touchdown on those interceptions. So this guy is dangerous and someone we need to look out for, but I think our offensive line can handle him. I think Tommy's shifty enough, and so are our running backs, that we can get around him. So I think if we can just keep him stuck in the middle of the field, just inside the box there, we can get around him and over him, and it's not going to be a huge challenge. But he is definitely somebody that we need to keep our eyes on.
So, Ben, we going to be able to double this guy, or do we even need to?
I think that NDSU's defense is more a collective than it is any single guy. Like, Logan Kopp, great player. Not saying he isn't. But at the same time, it is the collective of what NDSU's defense is that has been their success. This defense that they have this year and last year's defense are not the ones of the Dynasty era. It is not as scary as those defenses they had in the past. They've given up a lot of points in the playoffs. It's not the same kind of defense. So we should be able to put up points against these guys. They are one of the best defenses in the country, but at the same time, we faced a lot of those defenses as well. USD's defense was very good all season long, and then the Cats put up 31 points on them. So it's been hard to contain. Too. Definitely.
By the way, we have a comment from Dean Christians. Is it that how you say it? That you used to ball out on the basketball court back in the day. So you're getting some love all over. Did I say the last name right? Christians?
Christians. That's my dad coming in the comments.
Oh, okay, coming in clutch.
People know that I could be athletic at one point during my life.
Once upon a time, I never was athletic, so I got nothing. Well, welcome, Pops, welcome, Dad. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to your kid for hanging out with us a little bit too. All right, I'll move on to the Montana State Bobcat slide. What the heck? I'll try reading one of these. Big Sky Conference champions. Yeah, because we're 8-0 in the conference. 12-0 regular season record. I'll let you say the other one about our record right now, Agman, because I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it either.
But we're ranked number 1 in the FCS national rankings. This is our second championship appearance since 2020. That's when Agman was there. Unfortunately, watched this other team win. But our last national championship victory, 1984. And I think, actually, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kick it to the 1984, pass it to you, Agman, and then we'll give Ben the floor. Ready?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that 84 team. 40 years ago.
40.
Good timing. I mean, it seems like this all is lining up. Stars are aligning. It should. Okay. I'm just going to shut up. You go ahead.
So, the last title 40 years ago, 1984. This has been essentially probably the most historically talked about thing in Bobcat football history ever since that happened. Like, it has been the legend of 84 constantly, to the point where about 10 years ago or whatever it was, they brought out the 84 legacy uniforms as a throwback for homecoming. I still think they should do it again, but it was MSU versus Louisiana Tech. MSU was 11-2 at the time. Louisiana Tech 10-4. December 15th, 1984, in Charleston, South Carolina. So I wonder if that's where the neutral site was at the time.
Back in the
Final
day.
score 19-6. 19-6, MSU win. Some key players, and I wanted to do a comparison of their players then versus ours now, but you can't find quality pictures from 1984 that aren't black and white and all of that stuff for like the sports publications. Not saying black and white pictures, but just sports publication stuff that MSU's budget had was black and white. Their QB then, Kelly Bradley, 32 of 57. He threw the ball 57 times. 334 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And then both of those touchdowns went to a very familiar name in Bobcat lore, wide receiver Joe Bignell. I think it's Joe's son or nephew, somewhere in there in the Bignell family tree was Mac, and he was the linebacker a few years ago. But Joe had 10 receptions, 130 yards, so 13 yards a catch, guaranteed first down every time, and he had the 2 scores that gave us at least 14 of those 19 points in the last national title victory.
Nice. And Ben, I said we were going to throw right to you, but I have to address a couple things in the comments first. First and foremost, Sportnick's Kevin, our old man on the block, says 1984. That's when he got his doctorate at a college. So, wow, he is old. And then Wally says, well, all right, Ben, what do you think? Talk to us about the Cats. We've been there before. Last time it went fantastic was 40 years ago. This isn't the official predictions page, but talk to us about our history here.
40 years for this championship is a long time to wait, and I thought it was cool that the Cats did the helmets this year. I know, like you, I would love to see the uniforms come back fully, but the 1984 helmets were pretty cool as well.
That was sweet.
Yeah. Very different kind of team.
Yeah.
Completely. And I think football must have been played a lot differently in the FCS, looking at different stats for this. And it's kind of hard to find conclusive stats and everything. Like you said, you had a hard time finding pictures. It's really hard to find actual reliable stats that aren't on Wikipedia for these games, you know?
That's fair. That's where I found most of these.
Yeah, so who knows if they're real?
That's like the only place they exist.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there no official website for this?
Even though you can watch the entire national championship on real grainy quality on YouTube. You can watch the game on YouTube.
Wow.
And I have.
The
of course.
Big play from this run was that semifinal interception. I think it was Joe Roberts, like the famous interception to win that game. That's included in the Cats Pod intro music. We have the audio from the announcer on that. So we wanted to throw kind of a tip of the hat to these old teams and the success from back in the day. But 40 years is a long time to wait for a championship. On our episode earlier this week, I looked up what things cost back in 1984. And the average cost of a brand new car was $6,300. That's how long ago the Bobcats won a championship. So we're due.
I was going to say, it's about dang time,
you know?
man. Come on, let's get her done. Well, actually, it's being played in Frisco, which is just down the road from me. I'm Central America here, Oklahoma, right? Where it's still probably 65 degrees. But a cold snap has come through. And so while our average temps for a Bobcat playoff game has been 47 degrees, the temp in Bozeman for kickoff will be 29 degrees. Here in, Texas, actually. So just south of us. In Texas, it'll only be 33 degrees and partly cloudy for game day. That's the prediction right now. The cold snap is due to come in at about 12 hours, 3 o'clock this morning. It's supposed to be here. So going to be a cold one and 2 cold weather teams, although NDSU plays in a dome, right, Bagman?
They're playing a dome.
Yeah, so
Fargo
advantage
dome.
Cats.
It is
Advantage
my
Cats.
favorite dome.
Advantage Cats. So there we go. I've talked about it 3,000 times. I said, this isn't the prediction screen, whatever. Now we're on the predictions. Here we go. Agman, you tell us, I'll just let you take the lead on it, on who you want to go first, second, and third. MSU, our Cats are favored by 3.5, not much, but overall history, 21-17 Montana State. And since 2005 or 2004, though, 5-1 for NDSU. So yeah. Anyway, game predictions and odds on to you. If you want to give us your prediction, you can. If you want to kick it to me, whatever, it's your show. Go.
Why don't you take it first?
Cats by 1,000. There you go. That's my prediction. So
Perfect.
Yep. Ben, what do you think, brother?
That's awesome. My prediction for this game, I think the 3.5-point line is very juicy if you're a Cat fan. I think that is a very nice line. I saw this game being a pick'em as far as Vegas goes, but that's not the case apparently. They think we get 3.5 points on them. I think I'll go 31-21 in this game. Okay. I think the Cats are going to win by a little more than just one score.
Okay, well, I didn't know we were giving scores, so I'm going to go 31-27 just to make it more dramatic. Agman, what do you got, brother?
I would love to say that this would end in like 31-7, the inverse of what it did last time, but that's I don't think that's going to happen. I definitely think it's definitely more of your I don't even remember what score we said for Cat Grizz when you guys were on for our Cat Grizz show, but I'm thinking it's going to be around that 7 to 10 point range. I don't know if I can put an actual number to it, but I think we win by only one score.
Okay, so it's a close game. It comes down to it. Are we going to do our standard, make us all nervous in the first half and then show up in the second half? Or are we going to play this whole game?
Do that. I hate our slow start cardiac cat first quarter and a half. I hate it.
Good Lord.
I hate it.
Yeah. So, all right, go figure, right? The three Cats guys are saying that the Cats are going to win. So, which they will, but it's been too long. Nonetheless, we all no doubt will be watching. Eric, who is the other half of the Cats podcast, is not on, and as you stated at the beginning of the show, Ben, he will be at the game himself. Is he one? Are you guys texting like through the game, or is he silent? Like you can't get a hold of him during the game?
So if he is live at the game and I can't be at the game, we stay away from the texting because then he spoils stuff.
Okay.
There's a little bit of a delay when you're watching it on TV. So there are times where he'll send me a text and it'll be like, I love Taco. And I'm like, okay, well, I know Taco's about to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So we stay away from the texting, usually halftime. We do a little breakdown at halftime.
Okay.
If we're separated.
All right. Fair enough. Well, let's hope that all those text messages or updates, whether they come during the game, after the game, at halftime, or all three, are all good. Mm-hmm. So, with that said, I said I would put your guys' QR code up there again. So if you didn't catch it before the show or at the beginning of the show, these guys, the guy right here on the top of the screen. Let's see. Let me do this. I gotta find it. There it is. Ben. He is from the Cats Pod podcast, which is much bigger than our little Catcast that we've got. And that QR code, which is the logo on the helmet, will take you to their link tree, as we found out. And you can, these guys got merch, they got everything, and they're a great follow across all platforms. So please, if you're not already following those guys, do a screenshot, give these guys a follow. You won't be disappointed, especially if you're a Cats fan. So, sorry, I got to, man. There's not many more times I could do it. So, and then I'm going to pull up our socials here. I do this before or at the end of every show, same sort of thing, and it's self-explanatory. Screenshot it. If you want to go to the YouTube page, push the YouTube QR code, and then you get it. That's all of them. So, shoot, anything else we need to cover before we get out of here, Agman?
I just want to say thank you to Ben for wanting to come back on with us and having a good conversation about Bobcat football. I'm hoping we can collaborate across shows in the future as well, going into next season. Maybe do something after this game when it goes right, and we can do a little celebration. Talk to each other.
That'd be all right. We could do a little celebration. I'd be in for that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, thanks for coming on again. It was awesome having you. I know I love the collaboration with Bobcat stuff now that we're on a roll and we know how this is going to work. I think we're going to want to make this a bigger part of our show, under our show umbrella. Sorry, I hit my mic. But I know we want to just keep it factored in and build that relationship. So thank you again for coming on with us.
Yeah, Ben, thank you so much, dude. Anything that we haven't hit from your guys' perspective, anything coming up that you want to throw out? Or
No, I think we're good. We'll have a Cat Spot episode coming out later tonight, so keep your eyes out for that one. We'll be doing our championship preview at that show.
Nice.
Thanks for having me on. Love coming on with you guys. Hope we can continue to do it in the future. And go Cats, baby.
Yeah, baby. I love it. I love it. All right, we'll see you guys. You guys are the absolute best. Later.
See ya.